Fate of the Fallen, a book about a bromance gone sour, interrupted by an insensitive young woman. Holy guacamole, there's a woman on a horse! That's the first chapter. I have no idea what's going on in this book. I found out about this book on Jessie May's BookTube channel. She used to be the one running the Discord servers called Shelf Space, and the way she described it just got me hyped. And as well, the cover is sick. You've got these bold reds against this faded gray. The character on the cover just looks like this seasoned warrior traveler with several weapons. He just looks like he's gonna kick some butt. And then in the background, you have this beautiful fantasy elements of possibly a castle or a palace of some. This cover is just beautiful. The blurb is pretty good too, in my personal opinion. So on the back of the cover, we've got, from the New York Times bestselling author Kel Kade comes an all-new fantasy epic. And then we've got a little excerpt from the book. When you're out of options, you fight or you die. Matthias is some kind of prophesied hero, and she's taking him away to save the world. They're leaving. Aslo glanced up, looking at his father pointedly. Through the woods. Aslo then took a deep breath. He's my brother. I may not be a part of his destiny, but our fates are intertwined. I will go with him. Then you'll leave the forest? Yellow said. Someone has to keep the chosen one's head on his shoulders. How far do you intend to follow him? As far as he needs to go. The actual blurb is on the inside. It says, not all stories have happy endings. Everyone loves Matthias. Naturally, when he discovers it's his destiny to save the world, he dives in headfirst, pulling his best friend Aslo along for the ride. However, saving the world isn't as easy as it sounds in the stories. The going gets rough. The folk start to believe their best chance for survival is to surrender to the forces of evil, which isn't how the prophecy goes at all. As the list of allies grows thin and the friends find themselves staring death in the face, they must decide how to become the heroes they were destined to be, or, failing that, how to survive. This book has obvious Chosen One vibes, but that trope seems to be subverted. And all of that got me excited to jump into Fate of the Fallen. As prologues go, I didn't love it. In fact, I found it weak and lacking details, and I was really close to DNFing it just after the prologue. But I decided, prologues often don't reflect the rest of the book, and so I decided to give it a shot. And I kept reading, and the first chapter started off kind of slow. We're in the woods, nothing's really happening, the two best friends are hanging out, and though you do find some interesting details about the world, that Aslo, one of the main characters, is a forester, and that seems to be kind of elevated, or almost like a priest. They go out and fulfill this duty for others. But after a little bit, it started to pick up, and I did get more interested into the bromance. I am excited about the bromance and where that seems to be going. I think that there's some room for conflict because there's this girl. Naturally, that's how all bromances have any kind of conflict. You don't have conflict with a bro unless it's because of a girl. I love the bits and pieces that I'm getting about this forest culture, and they almost seem like they were warriors that were chosen or chose to go out and protect this temple. I'm excited to find out more about that culture, and especially more about how the characters interact with that culture, especially the forester. I'm more interested in the character Aslo. I'm excited to see what happens with his character development and where he goes, and he just seems like a more interesting character, being this mystical forester. Predictions. Yeah, so something's gonna happen. Number one, the breaking of the bromance. Even though Aslo and Matthias are starting the adventure together, it seems, I think eventually they're going to find themselves on separate sides of whatever conflict there is, and the bromance is going to be gone. Number 2, Aslo and Rayla. In this first chapter, Rayla kind of pushes Aslo away pretty solidly. Like, says, I like your best friend. So I think that Aslo is going to have a second chance with Rayla, but that in the end, Rayla and Aslo are still not going to end up together. Number 3, the woman on the horse. At the end of this chapter, pretty much out of nowhere, this woman just shows up. She's got her legs stuck in a stirrup, I think that's what it's called, and she's just being dragged by this horse. And at the end, she says, "The light." I don't know what this is about, but I think that she's gonna be the one that delivers the prophecy. I feel like that's pretty obvious. But besides delivering this prophecy, I actually think that she is going to be another love interest for Aslo, and that she and Aslo are actually going to end up together. Number 4, the forest. I think the forest is going to hold some kind of secret. We know that the forest died, that humans kind of killed it, and then they had to rebuild it back up, and that's why the foresters are kind of seen as these monks or sacred beings. And I think though that there's going to be a little bit more than that, that the forest is going to hold a secret to the past. Number 5 involves the prologue. In the prologue, there was this awkward, vague mention of the walkers, which sound pretty much like zombies. I don't like zombies. I'm kind of tired of them, and I hope that they're cooler than that. But anyways, I think that Matthias is going to fail, and somehow in his failure is going to create the walkers, or at least bring them to be. Since I started the YouTube channel, my writing really just did one of these, and I had a kind of a long break right now with YouTube because of moving and stuff, and I decided that I was going to use that time to get back into my writing routines, and I've been getting a lot more writing done, and I'm really happy with what's happened. I just wrote a really awesome chapter where Mako, the main character, is trying to find out some secrets and kind of sneaks around, and it was a much better edit than the first time I wrote that chapter, where I just had somebody telling Mako everything, and this version was a lot more true to Mako's character. I'm really excited for the progress that I made in the last week or two, and I'm excited to keep moving forward. Thanks for watching, guys. If you made it this far and you haven't subscribed, if you haven't liked the video, hello! See you guys in the next adventure.